So this is an old video that you're going to watch. I started filming in November 2023 and it took me a year to post. So these are all archived clips. You know, some of my thoughts might have changed, some might stay the same, but I'd like to post them because it's part of the journey and it's important to me, and they matter to me, and it shows the journey and shows different thoughts I was going through compared to now, I guess. But yeah, enjoy the video. Peace. Tell you what, I have just sweated for 2 hours straight, absolutely dripping. I'm gonna repeat it. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna keep repeating it. It does just change your life. Just sweating, just working out, just exercising, just doing it, no matter how hard it is. Whether you go easy. I started off with an hour's walk on the treadmill, full incline, about 5 miles per hour. Literally just watching a show at the same time on my phone. I get my exercise in and I get to watch a show, which is sometimes hard for me to do, and it's something I really enjoy. And don't get me wrong, I'm sweating and not feeling the best, but it's not extremely hard. But I turned up, I'm tired, and after it I feel a bit more energized. Don't get me wrong, I'm not bubbling with energy. I'm not bubbly and full of energy. And then going to a yoga class for an hour, and it is a tough yoga class for that hour, and dripping again, absolutely. I say I went to yoga, I essentially was swimming. I'm dripping that much. And it was a tough session, it really was. But for them 2 hours that I was in there, both an hour each, felt like a completely different day. They both did. The first hour I got lost in the show. No man, that's what my mind's occupied. My mind's been occupied with that. God, I can't even speak. My words are the wrong way around. But I'm lost in that show, in that world. And then you go into yoga and you get lost in that. You get lost in your head and you get lost in what the teacher's saying. Your focus is so much on the teacher, the positions they're doing and the feelings in your body that you forget about your problems for the day, for that hour. For them 2 hours, you forget about them problems. You've not got anything on your mind. And for me, when I've spent a day also focusing on the work that I'm doing for the 8 hours, now my mind does get occupied while I work, but for the majority of the time I'm focused on work, on one thing for 8 hours. And this really does just give me a break from that. It gives me a rest from that. And one of the things that used to happen to me, or well, it still does happen, but one thing that I hate that happens is when you wake up, you go to work, you get home, you're rushing about, or you basically don't have any time to rest, and you go to sleep and you're back in work the next day. You're waking up and you're doing the same thing. It feels like Groundhog Day. And for me, that's one of the worst feelings that I have. This feeling that it's just repetition after repetition and you're not even living. You're just being dragged along in your work. And like I said, it doesn't feel like you're living. It doesn't feel like it's your choice. It doesn't feel like you're free. You feel like a mouse on a wheel. And I haven't had that in a very long time, that feeling. And it's got to be because of exercise, because you get lost in these things. Now, don't get me wrong. I can also get lost in watching shows, playing video games. What else? Watching YouTube, just being on your phone, scrolling on TikTok. Don't get me wrong, I can get lost doing that as well. But for some reason, that time passes extremely fast when I do that. When I watch one episode, I need another. When I watch 2 episodes, I still need another. Whereas that, I don't come out after that and go, I need to sweat some more. Because I've got lost in it. It's a different effect and it breaks up my day. Now, don't get me wrong, it's only 7 o'clock. I've got at least another 3 or 4 hours of my day to go. So there's no chance of a Groundhog Day feeling today. But what I could have done is I could have finished work, got home at about 5, sat on my phone for half an hour, come down, chat to my family for a bit, eat my tea. All that's done by 7. And then I'm back upstairs and we're at the same time now, and I could start watching a show. I could start playing a video game or doing some research on my laptop or anything. And I guarantee the feeling of what I have now is completely different to the feeling I would have after that. Them first, what is it now, the 3 hours from 5 o'clock to now to 7 o'clock, 5, 6, 7, no, 2 hours, not 3 hours, come on, maths. Them 2 hours that I've just spent, so, well, it's 2.5 because I finish work and I get to the gym anyway. Them 2 hours that I've spent exercising feel much longer than it would have for the time I spent on my phone and even eating my tea and whatever. Because you're focused on something and you're actually doing something else. Especially for me, when at work I am doing something all the time. I am physically moving all the time. Now, if you've got an office job, I imagine you'd even reap the benefits even more, because you might just be sat down and, you know, moving. And then you're getting your body moving into a different state. And that focus that gets dragged elsewhere sort of takes you away from what the day's been. Because you've not got anything, you've not got that to keep focusing on. You've not different direction, and especially when you're struggling, when you're sweating and you're pumping, you feel different mentally. For me, I do. Don't get me wrong. While I'm, in yoga, while I'm doing this yoga, I'm feeling great. I'm not all happy. I'm not, I'm struggling. I don't feel great. My head's telling me you're not doing this right. Taking a hit sometimes when you have a hard session. And by hard, I mean physically hard and skill-wise. It's to get into these positions. For people who have never done yoga before, to put your body into these positions and hold it and strong in these positions, it tests your body. It's not, before I did yoga, I thought it was this sort of relaxation, this breath work sort of. Didn't expect to be sort of cramping and collapsing because my mum can't take it. I wasn't expecting any of that. I had a different perspective on yoga, especially the one that I've got now. But I don't know what I'm talking about, don't get me wrong. But all I will say is, if you do have a mental illness and you do feel shit in the head and you don't know what's going on in life, and I understand that feeling, don't get me wrong. But do some exercise. And I know it's simpler to say, just go out and do exercise. Because I know it's tough to get up and go out and do something. I'm in the routine of it, so it's a lot easier now. But if you get out and do some exercise, I'm talking exercise, just go for a walk. Try and do something that gets you sweating a little bit. And you feel better. You just have to feel better. And if you don't feel better, get up the next day and do it. Because you'll feel better that day. And you just got to move. Our bodies are meant to move. Our whole life and generations have moved. You can't just sit still and do nothing. You have to move. And I mean, general statement, but it's a generalized statement. But I think it's the number one contributor to who I am and how I am, is the fact that all my life I have moved. And the parts of my life where I've not moved is when my mental state has been the lowest. Factually, it has been the lowest when I've not moved. Whatever that movement is, it does not matter. Just move. Get a little bit of a sweat on. And hey, if I'm wrong, but at least you've moved. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I am in a bit of a season for exercise, a bit of a mode for it. And don't get me wrong, with the passion that I'm speaking on with exercise and people around me who might see me do it, yeah, I'm not got this passion while I'm doing it. But afterwards, this is the feeling it gives me. This is the energy it gives me. And the realization, you know what I mean? And not even the realization, a feeling of achievement, sort of subconsciously, that I've done something, that I've, an effort, and that I'm actually doing something. I'm trying to use the time that I've got in a positive way. But yeah, home now, so peace.